Hello everyone, here Dr. Vibha Rathore, Assistant Professor History from the Department of Humanities. Now I am here again with part 2, India's maritime trade. If you remember, in previous part I have discussed about the maritime trade relations with different parts of the world. Here I had discussed about Indus Valley civilization and I told you about the oldest port of India, that was Lothal port. Now let's again continue with the Mauryan civilization and the best part of the source, that is Kautilya's Arthashastra, where he had mentioned lot of things about international maritime trade or ancient maritime trade. So the Greek and the Romans, they had also mentioned a lot about this trade. So these literary sources are also a very important sources about ancient maritime trade. So these sources are giving sufficient evidence about this trade during the days of Nanda dynasty and Mauryan rulers. In Mauryan period, if we talk about that, we had much elaborated trading system, including the land trade as well as sea routes also were very important in that time period. Arthashastra of Kautilya refers to the fact that the state had enacted rules and regulations on trade movement, especially including the appointment of superintendent of shipping, that was known as Naukadhyaksha, or a controller of waterborne trade. Mudradhyaksha was known as the superintendent of travel documents to overseas trade. The Satavahana rulers were the first native Indian rulers to issue their coins with the inscriptions of the ships. Here you can see the pictures of the ships and the boats on the coins of these Satavahana rulers. Not only the northern dynasties were having maritime trade relations with all the parts of the world. Chola dynasty, Cheras, Rashtrakutas, Pallavas, these all South Indian dynasties were also having good trade relations with other parts of the world. Here during the Chola dynasty from 3rd to the 13th century, extensive sea trade existed and new harbors with quarters, with warehouses, with workshops were properly established. The Pandya dynasty from 6th to the 16th century was eminent Agnivir and sea traders with links extending from the Roman Empire and Egypt in the west to the China in the east. They controlled pearl farming that took place along India's southern coastline, producing some of the finest pearls of those times. The Cheras of 12th century had a flourishing trade with the Greeks and the Romans. Here in this map you can see the exact location of Cholas, Pandyas and other dynasties. Palur, near the Rushkiya Kulya river in the Ganjam district, was an important port in the 2nd century AD. Archaeological explorations has unearthed fragments of Chinese Celadon where Roman rouleted pottery and amphora pieces, showing that the port carried out significant international trade. Obviously, we have got the things which were the part of some different countries in our Indian subcontinent. Terracotta seals from Bangar and Chandraketugad 400 BC to 100 BC depict sea-going vessels containing corn. Here you can see in this picture the earliest depiction of ships in Odisha is in a sculptured frieze showing 2 ships found near Brahmeshwar temple, that is Bhubaneswar, and now preserved in the Odisha State Museum. There are lot of information, but in this very little time I am not able to explain lot of things, but let's talk about very important port areas of India. So ports of Indus Valley, that is Surkotda, Lothal, Dhalavira are the important port towns in Indus Valley. If we talk about Mauryan Empire, that Sopara was the ancient port located close to Mumbai, and Chandraketugad in Bengal was the very important port cities during Mauryan time period. Ports in Chola dynasty, Pumpuhar, still a very famous port, also known as Puhar, is believed to be a port town of the Chola Empire. Ports during the Chera Empire, Muziris and Tondi were the ports of Chera dynasty located at the Malabar coast, and ports during the Pandyan Empire, that Korkai and Alagan, Kulam are believed to be the important port cities of Pandyan Empire. Then Pallava dynasty, Mamallapuram, Vasvamudram and Mylapore were important port cities of Pallava dynasty. When we talk about big ships, when we talk about trade relations, the trade routes are also having a very important place. So, trade routes here, that is the Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea was important travel route in that time period also. Sea trade carried on both by Indian and the foreign merchants. India to Alexandria, that was possible, the trade exchange of material was possible within 3 months. Here the big route, the picture, the map I have brought for you. So, here you can see that how the Indian places were having good trade relations with the via Persian Gulf, and through Persian Gulf after they were moving to the Red Sea, and via Red Sea they were moving entering into the Mediterranean Sea. In that way they were having good trade relations with the Europeans. So, here this is the Lothal. Here this side you can see the Malabar coast. From this side they are travelling to the southeast nations like Java, Sumatra and other areas. So, Indians were having good maritime trade relations with most of the parts of the world. What were the commodities which we were having for the trade? Commodities like spices, India was very famous, especially the South India. For Indian textiles, especially the cotton and silk, Indians were very famous from the ancient time period. That gemstones, metals, minerals, ivory, exotic woods were in great demand from India. In the time period of Mauryaans, basically the textiles, spices and precious stones they were taking from the country. Gupta's time period, high quality textiles were the main part of trade relations. Chola's time period, spices, cotton, pottery and gems. Pallava's time period, textiles, spices, gemstones, etc. And the same Chera's time period, that the black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon and other spices were very important during those days. Here you can see the beautiful texture of the cotton on the cotton cloth, and here you can see on the pottery the design, and these all are the paintings and ornaments which were very popular, which these Indian materials were very popular during maritime trade. Shipbuilding technology. When we talk about trade relations, how can we forget talking about the shipbuilding technology? Technology in maritime trade during ancient times was quite different from what we have today, but it played a crucial role in facilitating trade and transportation. Some key technologies and practices included like sailing ships. If we talk about, the ancient mariners relied on wind-driven sailing ships made from materials like wood and sometimes with leather. Different types of sails were developed to harness wind efficiently. Then navigation. Navigational tools like astrolabe, quadrant and compass helped sailors determine their position at the sea. Celestial navigation using stars and constellations was also very common for Indians. Shipyards. Shipbuilding technology advanced in various regions leading to the creation of different types of vessels such as dhow in the Indian Ocean, the trireme in ancient Greece and the junk in China. Innovations in ship design also a very important thing. So, ancient mariners continually improved ship design for both cargo capacity and speed. Innovations like the lateen sail and improved hulls enhanced efficiency. These technologies were vital in the connecting ancient civilization and enabling the exchange of goods, ideas and culture across the sea. Here it is a picture of ship, and here you can see that the many people are sitting all together and they are travelling via a huge sea route. Now I am coming to the conclusion. Here we conclude that the maritime trade indeed existed in the subcontinent and flourished for centuries, from Indus Valley civilization to Vedic age, then to Nanda dynasty, then to Mauryan period and Gupta period. Simultaneously it was in its peak during Cholas. So Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas and Kalinga empire, they saw many evidences pertaining to the above what we have discussed in these slides. They had developed ports, trade routes, shipbuilding, technology for more sounding than ours from today's era. These all are the references. You can have a look and go to these different platforms to get more about India's maritime trade. So thank you all. Have a good day. God bless you.